And we are back here on Metal Nation Radio. You just heard Cease to Exist from the upcoming Suicide Silence album, You Can't Stop Me. I am Rustin Rose of Metalholic Magazine, and with us tonight, guitarist Mark Heylmun. How are you, brother?
Fucking, oh wait, can I cuss?
You can cuss all you want. This is heavy metal, man.
Well, I'm fucking good, dude. I just got done rehearsing. I just drove through a little bit of traffic, and I'm just now getting back to my home city of Temecula. Feeling good, dude. Feeling good.
Nice. Well, you got a lot to feel good about. First off, congratulations on making the cover of Fuse magazine.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's my first cover.
Nice. You got to like that. So,
hey, can't complain.
And obviously, congrats. We've got a new album coming out, so let's jump right into talking about it. The new album, You Can't Stop Me, coming out July 15th on your new record label, Nuclear Blast. Congratulations on that as well. But I got to say, I can only imagine the strange trip these last few years have been for the band through sort of triumph, tragedy, and rebirth. The new album is sort of a monument to resilience, and it's equal parts brutal and inspiring just listening to the debut single.
Yeah, dude. It's been a wild ride being in this band, and I mean there was no way to tell what the hell we've been through, and I'd like to think we hit rock bottom, and we've had a very, you used the word resilience, and I mean we've bounced back, and we all feel really good with where we're at right now, and it's a crazy thing to have felt as fucking just so lost. For the little while we were not doing anything with Suicide Silence, but now we're here and we're feeling good, and it's exciting, so good.
Well, we've heard Cease to Exist, phenomenal song, and Eddie keeps it true to sort of the style that Mitch would have done, but he definitely adds his own thing, so it makes us excited to hear the rest of the record. But you guys like to mix it up sound-wise, so what can we expect from the rest of the album?
Oh, definitely. It's a diverse record. We dug in we opened up our little bag of metal tricks, and we just started sifting through everything we possibly could bust out, We're definitely not what a lot of people think that we are as far as just like a deathcore band or like some brutal band. Like everything that we've done because we wanted to do it. And that's what we wanted to sound like. And this record, I feel like we really dug deep, and we found even more of what we want to sound like and how we want to come back as Suicide Silence. And it's just everything you can imagine and a lot of stuff that you probably won't expect. So, I mean, we're just really stoked with the way that everything came out on this record.
Absolutely. And like I said, just based on the single that I've heard so far, none of us can wait to get our ears on the rest of it. Now, Eddie was the only voice you guys considered for Suicide Silence moving forward. Tell us why you knew he was the man to help lead the band into the future.
Well, the only reason why he was the only one was because there was really nobody else that we knew that we didn't want to try anybody out. We didn't want to call people and be like, hey, you want to come and try and jam with us? It's like, that's not how this situation seemed like it would work for us. So Eddie was just a friend, somebody that we know is extremely talented, and someone that we know that could put the passion behind the job that it is to not replace Mitch or be the singer of this band, but to treat the gig that it is. He's replacing an idol to so many people, and he's also coming into a band that pre-exists, which is the other four members of it. And we just knew that he would be able to handle it with respect and knock it out of the park, with capability and collaboration-wise. He's just an amazing person and extremely talented. So he's been really kicking ass, and I couldn't be happier.
And so with him in the band now, in the songwriting process and recording the new record, what was the dynamic like in the studio? Did it change how you guys put songs together?
You would think, or we thought that it might. We thought that it would potentially be something like that, but as the writing process went on, we really realized that Eddie worked a lot like Mitch, and it really was a seamless transition. We initially were like, this is how we do this, and, this is how we normally would go about these kind of things, and kind of introducing him to it. But once he was introduced to the way that we work, and he wrote his first lyrics, and we put down some vocals on the first song, it was just smooth sailing. time. It was really enjoyable.
Nice. And of course, Mitch was with you guys in spirit as well. I understand you even tabbed some of his final lyrics for the title track.
Yeah, that built a foundation for the whole record. I mean, we got the lyrics that he left behind literally on the first few jam sessions we had with Eddie. Like, we let him know, like, hey, there's, these lyrics are going to come in. We hadn't actually got them yet. We got them emailed to us by our manager, who recovered the lyrics out of Mitch's iPad, and he sent them to us while we were at our jam space. And the song was called "You Can't Stop Me," and we automatically had chills. So it was automatic. Just there it is. Like, there's the whole idea behind the record. It's unstoppable. Let's do this. Let's just make it, as empowering and as unstoppable as we possibly can.
And it's a great way to keep Mitch's memory alive, because the song is "You Can't Stop Me," and you can't stop Mitch even in the after. He's still going to be with us forever, especially as long as Suicide Silence is recording and performing on, because he's still there in spirit.
Absolutely, man.
Now, I have to imagine, though, from the other side, writing and recording this record had to be somewhat cathartic for you guys.
It was something that was necessary, It was cathartic. It was something that many times I had to stop and really be present and think about, this is happening. This is something that we decided to do, and we're working on this, and this will be the only time we ever can write this quote unquote comeback album. Yeah, it was therapeutic, dude. Just like I said earlier, we hit such a fucking low, as individuals, as a band, that, just getting back to being in the studio and recording music was something that, we didn't really know if we would ever be back doing. So the whole experience was really, really needed. Everyone's behalf, as artists, as people that create, it was awesome.
And of course, you guys brought in a couple of special guests on the record. Can you tell us a little bit about it? You had George Corpse Grinder Fisher, obviously, and Greg Puciato. Can you tell us a little bit how you chose them and why you chose them for the tracks you did?
I'd like to say that George kind of chose himself, because we were on tour in 2011 with Cannibal Corpse, and Mitch and George talked about, Mitch was like, man, I love watching you perform every day, and George is like, man, I really like watching you every day. And Mitch was just floored by that. Dude, George likes watching us play. And we kind of threw it at him dude, we'll do anything. We'll offer you any amount of money to get you on our next record. We always like to do guest spots. And he's like, fuck that. You're not giving me any money. He's like, I'm singing on your guys' next record for free. And we were just like, okay, well, that sounds great. So that's how that happened. And we're super stoked about that. It's just insane. And then Greg was kind of the same thing. It came along during the mixing and mastering of the album. There was just a spot in the song Monster Within, and there was a vocal part that Eddie was singing, and our producer, we were on tour in Australia at the time. He's like, it'd sound good if there was two voices in here, maybe we could get somebody to do a guest spot. And we were hanging out with Greg, and we just asked him right there, hey, when we get home, you want to track this part? And he heard it and was just like, I'm totally down, let's do it. And then he slayed that vocal part, so totally did it in a Dillinger-esque way, and sounds awesome.
Nice. On a total side note, have you checked out his new side project, Killer Be Killed?
Yeah, me and Eddie did a photo shoot together. We were in London a couple of weeks ago doing more interview press stuff, and we were doing a photo shoot for an interview we did, and we were listening to Killer Be Killed on repeat while we were doing that photo shoot. I really like it. Yeah,
I think it's a pretty phenomenal album. So now you guys made, as you were just mentioning, you made your debut live appearance with Eddie at Soundwave this year. I imagine that was both exhilarating and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Yeah, nerve-wracking was definitely, we were nervous, but just knowing that was going to be the first show. We knew that, we could book a small show and go introduce Eddie in a small scenario and make it intimate or whatever the fuck, but it was like, you know what, dude, fuck that shit. Let's go play a huge show and just, introduce Eddie in a really big area. And you want to talk about a cathartic experience, that was like no other. That was a reintroduction to what it's like to be in Suicide Silence, a real reminder of why we enjoy doing this so much, because we really do. We all lose ourselves on stage and just kind of go nuts, and the energy was unreal.
Now, and of course, next you guys are going to hit Europe, sort of a little tune-up, get the feel for being on the road again as a band, and then your third Mayhem appearance. I believe it's your third. You guys have to be excited to return to Mayhem once again.
Yeah, it's always an honor to be invited onto that tour. I mean, we did the first one, and that was unreal, just super, super huge for us. I mean, I was like 19 years old when we first did Mayhem, and now, third time back, we're kind of like veterans on a comeback, and it's just a real exciting thing to be a part of. And yeah, like you said, a tune-up, we're going to be in Europe playing for, possibly an hour and a half at times at certain headlining shows, and then we're going to jump onto Mayhem and play a half hour. We're going to be on fire, ferocious, playing as hard as we possibly can. So it'll be a real sight to see, and hopefully we'll make some ears bleed.
Nice. So a couple of questions just for fun before we get out of here. As a guitarist, when you record your solos, do you just sort of go with the flow, see where your fingers take you, or do you sit down and map them out?
I absolutely just do where my fingers take me. Every record usually it's just like, all right, throw it on a loop, and I'll just jam with it for a while until I find something that I really like to play, and then I track it.
So what are a couple of your favorite riffs off the new album?
My favorite riffs on the new album, the intro riff to Monster Within, the song with Greg on it, is super just party time, fucking headbang, bounce around. It's just fun.
Mm.
Let me think about it. I like the intro to the last song called Ouroboros, because it's kind of the first time we've really done a clean intro. I like every riff in the song called Warrior. It's like just a super driving song. Song called Don't Die has some like Cannibal Corpse-esque stuff in it, and then there's everything on it. The Inherit the Crown, the opening track, is just riff central. It's just fucking climbing on Riff Mountain the entire time. So there's a lot of good ones, man.
Now, our pointless question of the week: what was your first tattoo, and what did it represent?
My first tattoo was an I and an E on the back of my ankles, on both of my legs, and it represents the Inland Empire, which is where I live. And the Inland Empire is San Bernardino County and Riverside County, and they're like the two biggest counties in California, and combined they call them the Inland Empire. And it's kind of like it's renowned for methamphetamine and college dropouts and desert and a lot of crappy shit, and I got them tattooed on me in Texas when I was like 18 years old. I don't even know why I got them in Texas, but that's where I did it.
Awesome. Mark Heylmun of Suicide Silence, the new album You Can't Stop Me, out July 15th on Nuclear Blast. Going to be on Mayhem this summer, destroying ears, breaking our necks. Thanks so much for taking the time, and we are so glad you guys are still making music for us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, man.
Take it easy. We'll see you on the road, brother.
Yep, talk to you soon.